You just want to bring it up, like I said, one notch, try to understand people a little better. And that's going to happen, InshaAllah, by the end of this course. So, part of being able to understand others is firstly understanding yourself. And that's why we talk about extroverts, introverts. We talk about something later on called a categorization of personality types. And I learned this I took this course in negotiating. Anyone here take a negotiating course? Fantastic. Excellent. Very good. So, the instructor said the closest thing I can give you to a magic wand would be the 3 personality types. Now, we're just going to go over it for what it's worth. And actually, there's not a single question in the exam about the 3 personality types. But the reason it's there is that you can use it for da'wah. And we're going to discuss how you can use it for da'wah. You know what? Everything is da'wah if you're in da'wah mode. Everything is da'wah if you're in da'wah mode. You can see anything, and because you're in da'wah mode, you see a da'wah advantage in it. Just the other day I read an article about some research that was done by a doctor in Austria, if I remember correctly. It was about picking your nose. Yeah? It's about, it's true research. This doctor in Austria, he says that it's actually very good for your health to pick your nose and eat it. And he says that it's when it's dry, yeah, eat it, he says. It's actually very good because I love disgusting things. You'll also discover that as we move along. So he says that when you eat this material, it has in it all kinds of bacteria that has been captured by your nostrils and so on. And when it goes into your stomach, it builds up your immunity. He says it's a shame that children have this good habit and we teach them not to do it. Yeah. I remember one time when we were young, my brother, we were at a bakery. And he said there was a girl, you know how these little kids, their nose is just running all the way down like that? They have their little Hitler mustache, but it's all just snot. He said this girl just grabbed a piece of bread, she just went like that. They ate it. Fantastic. So this guy's arguing that, it's good, it's good for you. Eat it. If it's dry, eat it. Why not? Now, what does this have to do with da'wah? Everything. If you're in da'wah mode, everything has to do with da'wah. You know what this tells you? It tells you that sometimes facts, or sometimes falsehood, can have some facts. And they can be accurate. But so what? True? So what? Doesn't mean because it's falsehood, there's not going to be anything to support it. They're not going to have any argument. Sometimes they have a logical argument. But it doesn't make it okay. For example, one time, and I know this is one of the New Jersey students, he told me that, you teach using poop a lot. He saw Brownie Surprise on the internet and things like that, yeah? So this was an atheist, very aggressive guy in where I used to work. And he was arguing very aggressively that if it's natural, there's nothing wrong with it. So he's talking about women flaunting their sexual desires and things like that. It's there, it's natural, so why not flaunt it? I told him, okay. He was being aggressive, so I had to be aggressive. I said, okay. I told him it's natural to have a bowel movement. I want you to sit up on this table right here, pull your pants down, and have a bowel movement in front of us. You're not going to do it. Because not everything that's natural should be flaunted in public. He was quiet immediately. So, he might come up with a fact, but that doesn't make it okay. I'll give you something else. For example, some people, who's heard the end of music here? Excellent. Okay, just 3 people. Basically, the end of music is a lecture online about music being impermissible, right? So, some people argue that it is permissible. Why? Because it's something that's natural. And here's their argument. A little child, no one has taught this child how to dance. When they listen to music, they naturally do what? Bounce. Immediately. So they're arguing this is something natural that Allah put in us. And so they bounce, and so it can't be haram. And so, what about then sexual urges in teenagers? It's natural. Does that mean it's okay? It's okay. And you go ahead and act upon that? No. So the fact that you give me a piece of information or a fact, it doesn't make it okay. So falsehood sometimes can have an argument, or it can have a fact, or there can be a study. But it doesn't make it okay. And by the way, just to answer that, you know why kids bounce immediately? Because the part of the brain that's in charge of motor movements, is the same part of the brain that's in charge of audio appreciation or music or things like that. That's why it's natural for the bouncing to occur. So anyways, the point is then, when you're in da'wah mode, anything that you see, anything that you hear, you can see a da'wah benefit from that. So, for the next, until the end of this course, we're going to be in da'wah mode. We're going to kick it up a notch with understanding people, reading people, understanding why people say certain things or do certain things. And that's going to make a huge difference for us. And that's why, in order to understand people, first you understand yourself. So we talk about extroverts, introverts. Any salespeople in the audience? Anyone sells cars here? Okay. Okay, very good. 2 people. I'm going to call on you a lot, inshallah. You're going to prove some points for us here. But I'm sure some of the people in your business very snaky, right? Some snakes in your business, right? Now, car salesmen, they understand a lot of psychology as well. You know that if you're extroverted, how they sell you the car? They keep telling you about how people will react when they see you in the car. They say that to you because you're extroverted. So they tell you, when you park this thing in front of your driveway today, your neighbors are going to go crazy. People are going to look and say, what's this? And people are going to want to talk to you because of this car. That's how they sell you the car, based on your personality. If you're introverted, they tell you what the car will do for you. And I'll tell you an interesting statistic. They tell you that 96% of people who go to buy a new car, they end up not buying the car that they wanted. 96% of people. 96% of people who buy a brand new car, they buy a model they didn't want, they buy a brand they didn't want, the size of engine they didn't want, the color they didn't want. What does that tell you? It tells you that the salesperson can influence them that much. That much. And that's why they're so used to manipulating people. Well, of course, with the exception of our 2 brothers in the audience. They're so used to manipulating people that they don't listen to you. They don't care anymore. I went to a dealership one time. I told the guy, now look what I asked him. So show me a sedan, Japanese, for under $10,000. You won't believe what he showed me. Okay? He showed me some ugly American SUV, some kind of Jimmy or Blazer. I can't stand those cars, with all respect to those who have a Blazer. Yeah. So he showed me a Blazer. So that's an SUV, and it's American, and it was for $12,000. It's just exactly the opposite of everything I asked him for. You know why? He doesn't care. He's so used to making people buy what he wants to sell. So he wasn't even listening to me. He's like, I'll make you buy this. Sometimes you hear these horrific stories about people coming in and then just totally being ripped off. And some stories are incredible. And you wonder, what's wrong with these people? How could they do that to someone? The other person, how could they allow someone to manipulate them that much? So there was one story where this woman came in, and she had a very nice car, but they gave her like $500 for her car, and she bought some other car, and she drove that for 5 days, and they called her back. They told her there's a problem, and we need to take the car back from you. She came back, gave back the new car, and they sold her back her old car for $5,000. Exactly, what? Imagine that's your wife. You're like, you did what? What you do? As a joke, I always do this to my wife when we're having a discussion or something. I always do this, then I go like that. But my wife, she doesn't mess around. She's like, come on, hit me, come on. Okay. So, talk about manners. That's so important, sometimes in Arabic, when someone is not well-mannered, they tell you, مَا عِنْدُ أَخْلَاقٍ. He doesn't have manners. Even in English, this person doesn't have manners. Actually, akhlaq in Arabic, akhlaq is how you deal with people. That's what it means. Akhlaq is the way you treat and you deal with people. So, you can't not have akhlaq. Everyone has akhlaq. But some people have good akhlaq, some people have bad akhlaq. There's no such thing as he doesn't have manners. How could someone not have any manners? Probably someone that doesn't exist. Doesn't have any manners at all. So everyone has akhlaq. They're either good or they're bad or somewhere in the middle. Because manners or akhlaq in Arabic is how you treat people. So you either treat people well, you don't treat people well. If you don't have any manners, you probably don't have anyone around you. You're probably dead or something, or live in the desert, something like that. So that's section 2, talking about the da'iyah. Section 3, we talk about the mad'u, the person that you're calling to Allah, because you need to understand that person. And here it means Muslim or non-Muslim. Muslim or non-Muslim. Because people have different issues, people have different questions. Yeah? I'll tell you this is a very simple one. It's a true story. One time someone came up to me, pulled me aside a little from the crowd, and listen to the wording now. He said, I just want to check. Is weed halal? And he's doing this to me. What do you think? What do you think is going on there? It's quite clear, right? First of all, look at the language. I just want to check. And just in case this is not right. Yeah? Is weed halal? And usually Muslims don't say, is this halal? They say, is this haram? But he's saying, is this halal? He wants it to be. And he's nodding. Yeah? Is weed halal? And then a dead giveaway when I said, of course it's haram. He went like this. He's probably thinking, last night. Haram? So that's just a very simple example. But sometimes it gets a little bit more complicated. You need to understand the person. What are they really trying to tell you? We're going to look at a lot of examples, inshaAllah. Is that for me? Thank you. No, I want the candy. The candy. Ibn? MashaAllah. Sheikh's son fool around and stuff, and everyone's just nice to the Sheikh's son. Deep down, everybody's like... Okay. Section 4, we talk about, actually calling people. And calling people back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The techniques, the methods. We're going to discuss a lot of things. And I personally like it, if I read a book, if I take a course, I like something new. Something different there. And so there's going to be some new stuff. Some discussions maybe you haven't heard. Like the one there on section 4, we're going to talk about logic versus emotion. Which do people use more? Emotion, right? Psychologists tell you that 90% of your decisions are based on emotion. Yeah? So then, which does Allah use more in the Quran? Logic or emotion? Who says logic? Put your hands up. Excellent. Who says emotion? Put your hands up. Okay. Who says both? Put your hand up. Excellent. Guess what? You're all wrong. Yeah. You'll find out why tomorrow. Not tomorrow. When are we doing the logic? Next week. Yeah. Bear with me. Then we're going to discuss tools and techniques, changing people, changing behavior, why people don't change. Muslim, non-Muslim, everybody. Why people don't change. We're going to look at many reasons why people don't change. Section 5, we're going to talk about religions, we're going to talk about beliefs. We're going to take care of the atheist. We're going to take care of the Trinity. There's no big deal there. But we're going to take care of the atheist. Because a lot of people are scared of the atheist. A lot of people are afraid of the atheist. They're just scared. A lot of Muslims just don't want to deal with the atheist. The atheist is easy to deal with. Don't ever be scared. InshaAllah, we're going to examine their minds, why they even became atheists. We're going to talk about a lot of things, and then destroy the atheists, InshaAllah. And then there's, in section 5, it says at the end there, hamburgers are my lifestyle. What is that section about, do you think? Anybody? Yes, sir. Close, but not. What does it mean, hamburgers are my lifestyle? Anyone want to guess? Naam? No, we're actually going to talk about homosexuality there. Why do I call it hamburgers are my lifestyle? Well, one reason is that when Al-Maghrib headquarters looked at my outline, they said, if you're stopped at airports and people see this, they might think you're spreading hatred against gays and everything. So I said, hamburgers are my lifestyle. Because the truth is, that's what homosexuality is. It's a desire. And a desire is never a lifestyle. True? So I desire, this is true, so I'm not making this up. I desire hamburgers. I desire hamburgers all the time. I'm happy to be in California because you have In-N-Out Burger, which is my favorite. They're the best. So I desire hamburger all the time. You can wake me up at 2 in the morning, give me a hamburger, I'll just, Jazakallah khair, I'll just eat it.